Hello, guys. Welcome back to Life Abroad Panama podcast. Today, we're going to be speaking with Jenn, an amazing girl who's a digital nomad, and Panama is her home base. She balances her life between traveling and work, and she's going to speak with us more about her life. So, let's get to know her.
Facing immigration questions or business legalities, our lawyers are here to help you. We make it easy to get the legal advice you need when you need it.
Okay, hello, Jenn. Welcome to the podcast.
Hi.
First of all, we want to know about you. Who are you? How old are you? Where are you from? Tell me.
Okay. Thank you for having me. I am Jennifer, but known online or other places as Jenn. I'm 35. I am from the US, but I'm Haitian American. So all of my family, my descendants are from Haiti. And yeah, I've been living in Panama for the past year and 4 months. So
Nice.
yeah.
Everybody says that she has been here for a long time. I say she's freshly new. So I want to know, do you have an Instagram handle where people can follow you after the interview?
Yes, I am Jenn _ the Traveler on Instagram and Jenn the Traveler just all together on TikTok.
Nice. Okay. We want to know more about your experiences here in Panama. So choosing Panama as a country to live, it's very common for Americans. I know Panama is very popular over there, but for other people, it's like, Panama, where is it? So I want to know, why did you choose Panama as your base, as your home base?
Yeah. So I would say from what I know, Panama is popular for retired Americans. So it's usually older people who come and retire in Panama and they know about it. But for people my age and younger, people don't really like move to Panama or know anything about it. Because even when I was moving, everybody was like, Panama? Like, what?
Where is it?
Where is it? Why are you going there? But for me, I have always loved traveling, culture, the Latin American area. I have studied in Costa Rica, studied Spanish abroad while I was in school in the US. So Costa Rica was my first introduction to Central America. And I really loved it there. And in my mind, I thought, okay, I'm going to end up living in Costa Rica one day. I just knew in my mind I would live abroad. But in 2022, I was just wanting to take a trip because, again, I like to travel. So I found a cheap flight to Panama. So being that I'm kind of familiar with the Costa Rica, Central American area, I was like, okay, let me see what Panama's about. So I came to Panama for a week, and I don't know how to explain it. It just felt like home.
You fell in love.
Yeah,
It was your place.
Yeah, I was like, this is my place. Like, I feel so comfortable. Like, I feel like I belong here. Like,
Nice.
and in that moment, I was like, I'm gonna come back here.
The good thing is that Panama has a lot of different cultures. So we always welcome everybody.
Yes.
It doesn't matter your race, your background, your whatever, it doesn't matter. We welcome you.
Yeah.
And we are very glad that people from other places look to Panama as a place to retire, to live, to invest.
Yeah.
And something that is very important is that you as an American, you have the same currency. So you didn't have to make exchanges or worry about that. So that is a plus, I think.
Absolutely.
Other question that I want to know. I want to know, what do you do for a job? Because I know that you are a nomad and you have to have a job for that. So how do you arrange all of that? What do you do exactly?
Yeah, so I'm a mental health therapist. And I started out working in person, like seeing my clients face to face, as most therapists do. And that's always how the field of therapy is. I think when most people imagine therapy, you imagine, a client sitting on a couch and then the therapist
Like
talking
this.
to them just like this. Exactly. But the pandemic changed everything. And we had no choice but to go virtual in the US. We had restrictions. So at some point, all of my clients became virtual. But then when the country started to open back up slowly but surely, I realized, therapy really works well virtually. Like, this is pretty cool. And then I found that it was easy for me to just do other things because I didn't have to worry about, traffic and being in an office and all of that.
It gave you a lot of more time for you.
Exactly. Yeah, more time, more freedom. So I made the choice to go fully virtual with my practice because I work privately. And I've been doing that ever since 2021.
So you do it fully digital.
Yeah.
How did that help your decision on moving to Panama?
That was the number one, that was the foundation for me to make the decision to move to Panama. Once I was fully virtual, I said, I can live anywhere. Like, I don't have
I can do whatever I want with my time. Yeah.
Yeah, I don't have to stay here where I'm at. Because I was in Washington State and I moved there for about 4.5 years before that to work for a company before I had my private practice. So Seattle wasn't where I was from. It was an okay city, but it wasn't like my favorite. So once I went digital, I said, okay, I don't have to stay here.
I can live wherever I want.
I can live wherever I want in the world. And I wanted to leave the US. So that's why I chose Panama.
Oh, wow. And a lot of people want to go to the US.
I know.
That's crazy. And I love that you had such freedom and you could choose whatever. That's very, very current. People now prefer virtual jobs so they can do that.
Yeah.
That happened, for example, with me. I always wanted that. And now that you have it, it's amazing. I really love that for you. I want to know, because everything sounds perfect and amazing, but there were challenges, obviously. I want to know, what was the biggest challenge when you planned to move?
Oh, man. I think the biggest challenge for me at first was leaving my family and friends. I think that's been the hardest part because, that's my family, my friends. Like, I could always, be able to see them and be around them easier being in the same country. So I didn't want to live in the US, like the actual country, but as far as my people that I'm really close with, that was really hard at first. I think just trying to figure out how to still stay connected with them, even though I'm in another country, is another layer of how to navigate moving somewhere, because I did it alone. So that's another difficulty that I don't think people can understand unless you do it.
Yeah, of course.
I moved to a whole new country by myself.
Being an immigrant is hard.
Exactly.
And how did you adapt to that?
I adapted, I feel, by trying to immerse myself in the culture. So I tried to be as Panamanian as possible.
And you look Panamanian.
I've heard that.
You do. There's a lot of places over here, certain places in the city that are fully people of color and fully Haiti people and Jamaicans. There's a lot of Jamaicans here. I know many Jamaicans. And for example, there's a Chinese town and there's a lot of Israeli people, so there's a lot of cultures, and they get you closer. They don't pull you apart. They are so welcoming, and you get to make friends pretty fast over here.
Exactly. Yeah, I think that's what helped me is that I just immersed myself in the culture, tried to get to know people, tried to work on my Spanish. And yeah, because Panama is so diverse, especially the city, it wasn't hard to just feel at home and feel comfortable.
And did you have any challenges, for example, when you were looking for a home or a place to live, how to get by? How was that like?
It was challenging at first because honestly, the way that Panama does things is not the same way that the US does things.
That's true.
So I had to exercise a lot of patience to make sure that I take my time to find what I wanted, know where I wanted to live. Because yeah, it's more of a process, I feel like, in Panama. Like the apartment search is more like finding a house. Like you have to go through a real estate agent. You have to see different places. So it was, yeah, for me, it was kind of like, oh, okay, I have to like talk to so many people and like get what I want. Versus in the US, it's a little bit more like fast. And then you just like put an application and you get a response right away and then it just happens.
Yeah.
So it was difficult to make sure I found the perfect place and found the perfect landlord that I was comfortable with, so that, yeah, I can be happy.
But the good thing is that there are also many tools over here. There are many apps. You can even go to physical places that they have their apartments listed and you can see through them different prices, different towns. So you have many places to choose from, and being American and having the for example, ability to pay certain prices is very helpful. So you say that right now you found your perfect place to live.
Yeah.
Amazing. I love that.
Yeah, you'd say you mentioned a good thing, an important thing that, yeah, as an American, like I have so many more options because, yeah, I'm making American money and I get to decide what I want versus, you know, like the average Panamanian, it may not be the same. So, yeah, I think that's like an advantage in one area. And then the disadvantage for me was just navigating a different system, like the website you talked about. Yeah, like I had to find that out by myself because I didn't know anybody. So I had to just do my own research and see what was what. And yeah.
And how did you do it online? Did you like search where I can find an apartment?
How did I find it? I think, it was a friend,
nice.
friend that I met pretty early on in my journey in Panama, moving maybe like within 2-3 months. I met a friend who referred me to a real estate agent, and then told me about the website that I can look at apartments. So yeah, it was like word of mouth.
Nice. That is very common here.
Yeah.
Somebody that knows somebody else and they tell you. I love that about Latin America.
Yeah.
You can meet a lot of people like that. And you can have a lot of connections like that.
Exactly.
I also want to know more like the legal process. I want to know the paperwork. What did you have to do? What visa did you get and why?
So I'm still working on my visa.
Okay.
Because as an American, we can live in Panama up to 6 months at a time. So because I'm always traveling, my 6 months never comes up. So it kind of just renews every time. So actually this year I am planning to do the full visa process because I think the first year for me was like figuring out, is this where I want to like live?
Yeah, getting comfortable and
stay.
All that.
Yeah, like you said, I'm still new.
Yeah.
So now that I've gotten comfortable, I like, like I said, I like my apartment. I like where I'm at. I feel like this is home. I'm like, okay, now let's start the visa process and see, what's possible.
And have you been doing it by yourself? Did you get a lawyer?
I've contacted a few lawyers, so I'm in communication with one right now to see what the process will be like. Because I didn't want to do it by myself because from what I've heard from other people who've done it, the lawyer, working with the lawyer is the easiest way.
Yeah, you just they tell you what you need.
Exactly.
You just give it to them, and they do everything else.
Yeah,
you don't have to go anywhere, and just get your paperwork, and that's it. And do you know what is the name of the visa or the options that the government has for you?
So I know that there's a digital nomad visa.
There is?
Yeah.
Wow.
There's one that lets you stay here for like 9 months and then you can renew it again. You can renew it again. And then I know that there is an investment visa. Like if you invest money into Panama, a certain amount, there's I don't know if the Friendly Nations is still an option.
Yeah, there is. Yeah.
Okay, that one too. So I know about a couple.
And do you have a preference for one of them, or what are you thinking on doing?
I'm still trying to see because I feel like the digital nomad visa I don't really need it because, like I said, I travel so much, and then being a U.S. citizen, I get 6 months. So 6 months versus 9 months is not a big difference to me.
Yeah.
So I'm thinking something with the investment would be like the route to go.
Yeah.
I'm not sure of the details, but I feel like that since I'm going to be here long term, then that would be.
There's a lot of people actually that come here with that exact visa, and they invest. They really watch the profit on that.
Yeah.
So I think that it's a good option. The thing is that you still have to investigate and all of that.
Right.
So,
yeah.
We will be curious to know what visa does she chooses. But
I have to update you.
Yeah, of course. Did you face any legal challenges when coming to Panama?
Legal challenges?
Yeah. Or they just opened the door and said, you can come in whenever you want?
I feel like, they basically said, I think having a U.S. passport makes it...
It's very helpful.
Very helpful, yeah. They don't really give you much trouble as long as you tell them, what you're coming for, how long you're staying. They're just like, okay, come in. So I really haven't had any legal issues.
And what did you say when they say, how long are you staying? She said, forever.
However long you guys can let me stay, I will stay. Because I usually have a trip booked. Because, you always have to have a trip booked somewhere else.
Yeah.
Yeah, so I always have a trip booked. So whenever that trip is up is how long I'm staying until, again, it
you
renews.
went to that place, or was it just like a decoy?
No, I always end up going. Because, I usually, every 3 months I'm going somewhere. So it just, it works
life,
out.
Guys. That's what I want.
Yeah.
Okay. And you were saying they didn't put any restrictions on you. And did you have a place to stay when they told you, okay, what are you doing in Panama? You showed them. Were you staying in a hotel, or did you look for the place already where you wanted to live?
Yeah. So the first couple of weeks, I stayed in different Airbnbs around the country. So I spent a week in the San Carlos area, a week in Brisas de Golf. There was another place that I stayed at. So I did that purposely because I wanted to check out different areas to make sure where I want to stay before I invest in an apartment. So I had planned it out. The first Airbnb I stayed at, I think it was Brisas de Golf, and I didn't really know about the area. I just saw that the Airbnb was nice. It seemed quiet and relaxing. The owner was really nice. So I was like, this is where I'm staying.
How nice. And you were really smart on that, because it was not just this place and I like it. You were all over the city
Yeah.
and even in other parts of the country because San Carlos is out of the city.
Yeah.
And you like study and all of that, the places around, how close was it to various places.
Right.
That's very smart. You had a whole plan.
Yeah.
And talking about plans, going back on the legal part, I know that is hard to do it alone. And I don't know if on the US you have done different legal processes, but over here, how do you think having professional help has bettered the experience for you on getting a visa and having like the whole process?
I think it's like so important because I think you can get lost in the legal process if you don't have like the right person
Yes.
helping you.
Of course.
No matter like how smart you are or what country you come from, like there's no way you can know everything about like
There are such many like little details.
yeah, exactly, little details. So it makes me feel good to have someone that's basically like an advocate that just says, hey, this is what you need, this is how I'm going to help you, and less stress for me.
And how? What are the things the lawyer has told you to give him, or what do you need exactly to have that process going?
So far, I'm trying to remember because it was an email that basically he sent.
Imagine
that.
Technology is the best thing ever, guys.
Yeah, it was an email that said, basically what were the options so far. Yeah, as far as like what were the options of visas that I could look into. And I think it was just about like the prices that I would pay for the different parts of the process, like the lawyer fee and then the fee that you have to pay like the government to get the actual cedula. I'm trying to remember if there was anything else that they said that I needed. I know that a background check would be something that I needed at some point. And then proof of income, I believe, like income.
So it's just things that you have available to you.
Yeah.
They don't ask you for give us the birth certificate of your mother,
Right. Yeah.
So it's very easy. That's something that people from abroad see also in Panama. That is, it's very uncomplicated. You know, and if you have a professional help, it's even better.
Right.
I want to know also how was adjusting to life in Panama, because the US and here are completely different places. The language is different. The culture is different. So how was it to fit your lifestyle as a digital nomad in Panama?
I think it's been mostly good. I mean, there's a little bit of shakiness.
What are those shaky details? Tell us everything. We want to know.
I think the shakiness is, I mean, for me, the language barrier is one thing. I can get around with my Spanish. I mean, some people say I know more than a lot of people.
You do. You understand a lot.
Yeah. So I understand a lot. But I think that like when I'm trying to get like things done, like customer service type of things, that's when it becomes like more difficult for me. I know personally, like I can be impatient. So it's like if I want to get something done and I feel like it's difficult for me to communicate my need, then it's like, okay. And then Panamanians are more chill, relax.
They wait for you. And if you say hola, they're already like, oh, you know Spanish. Oh my God, your Spanish is so good.
Yes. So they're really kind and they're really chill, which I appreciate because that's part of why I left the U.S. was to leave the hustle,
Yeah, they go,
fast,
go,
fast,
go, go.
fast, go, go,
Yeah.
go culture. I wanted someplace that was relaxing, that the people were welcoming. So that for me was been a positive. But on the other side, they can take a long time to get things done sometimes compared to what I'm used to.
The chillness goes for everything.
Exactly.
Yes.
The chillness goes for everything. There's no like, let's be chill here, let's not be chill here. So again, like when it comes to like things that I need to get done, like, you know, whether it's buying something or something in my apartment, it's like I want to get it done faster. And they may have a different timeline, so I have to be patient and say, okay, you know, let me just wait.
That's amazing. You have been practicing your patience.
Yes.
Everything is for the good. Everything is for the better.
Yeah.
Let's see. What tips do you have for balancing work and exploring Panama? Because I know you control your own calendar and you travel a lot. For me, for example, having a job like that where you are your own boss is hard because you sometimes you can like, okay, I'll do it tomorrow.
Yeah.
And those things start packing up and building up, and then you are like, oh my God, what do I do now? You know?
Yeah.
So you need to be very organized.
Exactly.
Tell me, how do you do that?
Yeah, organized. I make sure that I separate my time that I'm working and I'm relaxing. So Monday through Thursday, I am working. And I have hours that I'm available. So between 9 and sometimes 6 to 7, I can, see clients. I'm responding to emails. I'm doing notes that I have to do. But I like stop at a certain point, and then if I don't do it that day, I do it the next day. But then I make sure everything happens between Monday and Thursday, so that Friday, Saturday, and Sunday, I can explore, I can relax, I can do the things that I want to do.
Nice. And how do you have like a tool or something that helps you stay organized?
Google Calendar.
Nice. Everybody uses that right now.
Yeah, yeah.
Do you need to like answer to somebody? Do you need to report to somebody? Do you have like a manager or something that helps you with the clients or the patients?
No.
So you do everything by yourself?
I do it all myself.
Oh my God.
I do have a timeline in terms of like I have to send out like basically a bill for the services so that I can get paid. But that's about it as far as like managing my calendar, managing my clients, communication.
So you're the accountant, you're the manager, you're the therapist. Yeah. Oh my God, that must be, that is good because you do it all by yourself and you have control under everything. But it can also be a little bit stressful. So how do you manage? Like, do you have certain days that you sit down? For example, do you pay taxes? Do you do your own taxes or do you ask for help? I know that in the US that is very something that is very important, taxes. Yes. And I am very afraid of them because I know
they don't play.
I know that if you miss the date that you have to pay taxes, they can even get you to jail, and that's too much for me. Okay? Exactly. How do you do that?
I mean, I don't do it perfectly, but I try to, again, Google Calendar. I know that I can't remember everything in my mind. So anything that I know I have to do, like reporting quarterly, like what I'm making to the state government, the federal government, putting money aside for taxes, remembering what day I have to file taxes, everything, I put it on a calendar. So because I know I'm the one that has to do it, nobody else can do it. And I just do it. Because in the US, you can file taxes online and put in all your information. So when it comes that time, I just pick a day and I just sit and do it for how many hours, maybe like, sometimes it takes like 3 hours, 4 hours to just sit and just put in all the information, make sure it's there and send it.
And the good thing is that you can do it wherever you want.
Yeah, exactly.
How nice.
Exactly.
I'm going to start like thinking about that. I'm going to be a digital therapist. You'll see me. You'll see me out there.
Yeah, I love it.
I want to know. We were talking about housing and we were talking about all the legal processes. And you said that finding a house was a little bit hard. I want to know if you encounter any legal issues while setting in, for example, contracts or housing and all of that, because I know that when you have and when you want to get a house or an apartment, they do a contract and you have to give in your information, you have to give in your how do you get paid and all of that. What did you have to do? How was it? Was it difficult asking for money or the information from the US to here? Tell me everything.
I would say that it was pretty smooth for the most part. Yeah, from compared to stories that I've heard from other people.
Horror stories.
Yeah, I've heard some horror stories, unfortunately. Mine was pretty smooth. I mean, they just asked for proof of income, which I have because I work for myself. So I just
And where did you get the proof of income?
For my taxes.
And you just asked the government in the US, like, can you send me these?
Because once you do your taxes, they send you a copy at the end of the year. So I have that available on me all the time digitally.
Nice.
So I can just share that whenever I want. Also pay stubs, like when you get paid for something, you have
like
that,
the receipt and all of that.
basically. Yeah. So you have that digitally as well. So all of that was easy. The hardest thing to get was like a bank status letter. So they wanted to see, which is something I've never done in the US. So they want to see like that your bank account is stable.
That is something very common in here.
Yeah, very unique to
because
Panama.
for example, the taxes and all of that, sometimes they can be false. So if you have a bank and they have the numbers and the account and all of that, they can check on it, and that is something like more truthful maybe over here. Yeah, and they do it very, when you're gonna buy a car, when you're gonna buy a house and all of that. Yeah, they ask for
Yeah, I didn't know that because I thought that was interesting. I'm like, I show you the
taxes and all of that.
That's it. But yeah, that was hard because that's not common in the US. So I had to call my bank to say, I need this specific type of letter. And every bank is different. Like my bank called it like an immigration status letter because I guess in the US, immigrants can use it too to show certain things. So I had to get that, and they had to like make sure that it was me that was asking for it because it's very sensitive information. So, but I was able to get the copy digitally from my bank by just asking them, and then I could.
Something I want to know is, how did you tell your bank, or if you told your bank you were moving? Because I know that if you use your credit card in another place, they block it right away.
Yeah, it depends on the bank. So I didn't have to tell the bank I was moving.
You didn't?
No.
They just let you.
Yeah, again, it depends on the bank and it depends on the transaction. So if they see a transaction that they think is weird, then they'll send you a notice and say, hey, was that you? And then if you confirm, they're like, okay, it's fine. But yeah, the way that the banks, they kind of like monitor your activities. So I think if they know that you travel a lot, like me, they're just like, oh, okay, she's just traveling. It's okay.
Nice.
Yeah.
So it was pretty smooth. And on the housing part, were you like weirded out by the contracts, or what were they asking exactly? What are they asking where you live, for example? What are the requirements?
So yeah, they just wanted proof of income, and then I think that's all they wanted where I lived. Just the proof of income.
And they say, do you have money? Okay, you can live here.
It's so easy. That's what I was going to say. It's so much more easier. Yeah, there's like differences. Like I said, the process to like finding the right place is harder, like in terms of like you have to get the agent or you have to contact the owner to go see the place and get the contract. But as far as like them giving it to you, they just want to see that you make enough money And that's it.
And how is it compared to the US? Because I know over there is a whole different process.
Yeah. So the US, they want to see how much money you make. They want to check your credit. So basically, they're checking your credit score to see if it's too high or too low. They sometimes want a referral from your old apartment to say that, oh, she's a good renter. You know, she's not going to do anything crazy. And then they usually ask for a security deposit, which they do here too.
Yeah,
that's something
do.
I forgot. Yeah, here they also ask for security.
Sometimes they don't.
Okay, yeah. Well, so far they've asked me, so that's another thing that they ask. So just to show money and then the security deposit. But yeah, in the U.S. it's a little bit more complicated because they can deny you. They can say
you can have everything perfectly, and they say no.
Yeah, they can say no. They get to choose if they say yes or no.
So, you know, guys, if you want to come here in Panama and just live wherever, you just beep, 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 and you ask for the person and you have enough money, they say, you can live here tomorrow if you want. So nice.
Yeah.
We are coming to almost the end of the interview. Yeah, so nice. We have been having such a good time.
Yeah.
And we can stay here as long as we want, but we have to close. You know, we have a certain time. So, we are coming to the conclusion, the reflection and advice. We have to go back and see what have we learned about this.
Yeah.
What is being the most rewarding part of moving to Panama? What do you enjoy the most?
Oh man, so many things.
We have time, don't worry.
I think the most rewarding part has been being able to live my life the way that I want. Not feeling like I'm in a place that is telling me how to live, telling me how to move. Being in a country that embraces me, like embraces who I am.
Yeah.
You know, the US is different. It can be difficult, especially when you're a Black person. But here it just feels like diversity is embraced. They just want to see you happy and see you enjoy their country. So I think that's been really, really nice. Immersing myself in the culture. Like I love Panamanian culture. I love just seeing people smile, seeing people dance, eating the food, just all of it is just
What is your favorite Panamanian food?
Oh, good question. What's my favorite?
Or what have you tried so far?
Oh man, I've tried pollo asada.
Nice.
Patacones, of course.
Love them. Have you tried sancocho?
Sancocho, yes, I have.
So good.
Delicious. Tamales. Yeah. Arroz con coco. Pecado.
Very like mixed with African culture.
Yes.
And all of that. So good. I love it.
Yes.
So, what advice would you give to digital nomads considering to move?
Advice.
Yeah.
I would say, if you're a digital nomad, I would assume that you already have a job. So that's cool. Okay. And then I would say, really try to do a bit of research before to think about where you want to live in Panama, if you're coming to Panama specifically, because in my mind, before I came, I thought I was going to be living on a beach somewhere because I love the beach.
Yeah.
But I realized when I came, the actual space, I couldn't see myself there because it was too quiet.
Yeah.
It was too like kind of slow. So I ended up in the city. But if I want to go to the beach, I can just go.
It's pretty close to the city.
Yeah.
And if I want to become a nomad, what advice would you give me? Because let's say I don't have a digital job. What should I do? Where should I look for?
Okay, yeah. So I think that's the hard part is finding a digital work. I think the easiest way slash the hardest way, it can be both depending on the person, is working for yourself. So if you work for yourself, then you can create your own schedule. You can decide what type of work you want to do, whether it's like consulting or, marketing or something that you like to do, video production, whatever it may be. If you work for yourself, then it's so easy because you don't have to worry about answering to anybody else. You create your own schedule, you do things on your own time, and then you can travel. So yeah, I think finding a thing that you like to do that you can do for yourself. It's going to take some time to build that up, but I think that's the easiest way versus if you try to work for a company, it depends on the company. They may not want you to leave the country.
Right.
It might be hard to balance because maybe the workload is really heavy. And even though you work digitally, you're working, 12 hours a day, and that's not fun. So,
how long did you say you were digital for? Like, how long have you been doing digital?
3 years now.
So it took you like a little time to get used to and like get the hang of it.
Exactly. Yeah.
Nice.
Yeah. I didn't just wake up and
you
go.
said, "Oh, let's go to Panama." No.
Yeah, no.
You planned it.
I planned it. Yeah, because like I was saying before, my field is not usually a digital field.
Yeah, it's not.
It's very much in person.
New.
Yeah. So it wasn't until the pandemic that like literally opened my eyes to say, "Oh, I can do this digitally." And then I worked on it and I said, okay, let me make sure I'm stable digitally. Because when I first started digitally, I didn't have as many clients as I have now. So I had to build up my clients and then make that consistent amount of money that I know I need to live. So that's another like thing I think is important to make sure, it's not just like you wake up and start a company and then you're like, oh, I'm digital so I can do whatever. Yeah. It's like you need to make sure you can live comfortably wherever you go. Yes. And then you can make the jump to, move to another country.
And the last question, how can professional guidance make the process easier? Because you said, for example, you did a lot of investigation by yourself. How do you think that professional help would have helped you? Like, this is where you look for an apartment. This is what you do. This is how to take the bus and how to do X, Y, and Z. How do you think that would have made the process better?
I think that would have made it smoother, like less kind of like guessing and hoping things turn out okay. And more of a smooth of like, okay, this is where I'm going to live. This is what it looks like to have, this information that they need, because I was able to get it, but I didn't know beforehand. So like, for example, the bank letter that I needed, it was a little bit difficult because usually they only give it to you in person.
Yeah.
So had I known that before, I would have got the letter before I moved and had it ready and then not have to worry about, having to present that. So yeah, and then somebody who could like help you figure out different neighborhoods because there's so many neighborhoods in Panama City. So you don't know until sometimes you come and you explore and you're like, oh, this neighborhood is nice. I want to live here instead. I didn't find my neighborhood right away. I was living somewhere else before. Then I ventured into the neighborhood that I'm in now. So yeah, I think it would have been easier if there was like somebody just guiding the process.
The good thing is that right now you have social media and you can do that for the people.
Yeah.
And you can do the job that they didn't do for you,
Right.
You can help those that are a little bit lost. And for the legal part, you have us guys. You have NDM Law Firm. That is the way to go. Yeah. So we have come to the end of the podcast. It was so nice having you. It was so nice hearing your story and how that different job helped you live in the place you wanted to be, and how you do the things differently. You have your own schedule, you travel a lot, and it was nice hearing your experiences, the places you have been, and how Panama has been so welcoming to you.
Yeah.
So that's all. Yeah.
Thank
You
you.
can say to her like the last advice to the people who want to move here to end.
Nice.
Okay.
Okay. What do you think is the advice that you could give the people who want to move to Panama?
Do it. If you want to do it, do it. Because Panama is a great country to move to. I think it's, I don't even think it's just like a country for like one particular group of people. I think anybody can move to Panama and make a way and feel comfortable and, be successful in the way that they want to. So yeah, my advice is to do it if it's on your heart. And then try to connect with people who have done it too. The content,
Like her.
like me.
Shout out to your socials.
Shout out to myself. That's the content that I make is I show people how I did it. I break down the things that people didn't show me. So
What are your social handles again?
So it's Jenn with 2 N's, _ the Traveler on Instagram, and then on TikTok, Jenn with 2 N's, the Traveler. So if you want to like see my process, like get tips and tricks, like see the beauty of Panama, see how to survive, that's what I help people see.
Nice. And for the legal part, contact us, guys. That's the way to go. So we've come to the end of the interview. We were so glad to have you, Jenn.
Thank you for having me.
Thank you so much for coming.
Thank you so much.
And we'll see you on the next video. Goodbye.
Thanks for joining us on Life Abroad Panama. You can find us on all major podcast platforms. Curious about our guests? Just click the links. Looking for legal support? Reach us through our website. And make sure to watch more videos or check out your visa requirements.